To Psychic Insights, where pop culture meets higher consciousness and the tea is always a little bit mystical. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and around here we don't just watch the drama unfold, we read the energy behind it, whether it's celebrity scandals, reality TV, chaos, or true crime with a twist. I'm tuning in to bring you the intuitive scoop the headlines miss. So buckle up, because your aura's about to get entertained. Welcome back to my channel. It's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend. And so we've been talking about this Gerhardt Konig trial, this case. We talked about what was happening in the jury room. And now it comes down to one person, the judge. Because while the jury decided the verdict, the judge decides the sentence. And those are two very different things. And if you're new here, I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and I break down real-life cases using both intuitive insight and what's happening on the surface as well. So it's for entertainment purposes. So let's get into it, shall we? Today we're looking at Judge Paul B.K. Wong and his energy and what he may do next. And you know me, I pulled my cards. So just to anchor us in for a minute, Dr. Gerhardt Konig was found guilty of attempted manslaughter based on extreme emotional disturbance. Now, sentencing is coming later in August, and this is where things can shift because the judge is not deciding guilt, he's deciding consequence. So before I even pulled cards, I looked at his background, and Judge Wong is a former prosecutor, former law partner, and then moved to the judiciary. Words today, Robin. Words. Anyway, so this is someone who understands criminal behavior and values structure and is not easily swayed by emotion alone. This is not soft energy. This is measured, analytical, law first type energy. So I pulled cards on his energy, not just what he'll do, but how he sees the case and how he sees both people and what's actually influencing his decision. And this is a snapshot of what's happening now. So we'll look, okay? We'll take a look at what happens actually in August, okay? So I asked the question, what is his true perspective on the case? And I got fox, letter, and fish. And right away, this is someone who is not taking anything at face value. He's reading the details carefully. He's questioning what has been presented, and he's aware that there are layers to this case. This feels like a judge who is reading between the lines, not just accepting the surface story. Now, I asked, does he agree with the jury? And this is interesting because I pulled, let me make sure I have the right cards. Okay, here they are. I pulled anchor and path and rider. And this is interesting because he respects the system. He accepts the verdict, but he's making his own decision about what comes next. And this feels like the jury did their job, and now I get to do mine. And then I asked, how does he view emotional disturbance? And this is where it shifts. I picked bear, book, and clover. And this is saying to me that he doesn't fully buy it. He feels it feels minimized to him, not as strong as what was presented. And I kind of get the feeling like he's thinking to himself, I don't fully feel like he's convinced. I don't think he's convinced by the emotional disturbance angle, okay? Which was a sigh of relief for me. All right. Then I asked, how does he view Gerhardt Konig's actions? And this is what I got. I got ring, bouquet, and tree. And this is layered. He sees the relationship, the history, the context, but also something that looks better on the surface than it actually is, and something that may have deeper roots or patterns. I think we all think that, right? This doesn't feel like a one-time moment to him. It feels like part of a bigger picture. I have to agree. And I think a lot of people that were witnessing this felt the same way. It wasn't just, oopsies. It seems like a pattern to me. All right. So how does he view the victim? That was another question I asked. And I pulled stars, cross, and dog. And this is important. There is clarity, recognition of suffering, and a sense of sincerity. He does not dismiss her. There's real acknowledgement here of what she went through. And then the question was, what influences his decision most? And this is what I pulled. Snake, birds, and moon. Okay. He's thinking very deeply about perception versus reality, how the situation was interpreted, and what may have been distorted. This is a judge who mentally works through nuance. All right, so I asked what the tone of the sentence would be. I'm having actually deja vu right now, so that's interesting. Okay, I picked stork, house, and key. This is big. It feels structured, intentional, and meaningful. Not extreme, but not light. This feels like a decision that creates real impact. Yay. Well, I'm taking it as positive impact. Okay. And then the other question I asked was, what is the outcome he is moving towards? And this is powerful as well. I picked tower, woman, and coffin. Oops. And coffin. Tower, woman, and coffin. And this is really powerful. He wants closure, finality, and through his authority. And importantly, closure that acknowledges her experience. So what does justice look like to him? Well, I pulled garden, clouds, and heart. And this is beautiful because justice to him is bringing clarity to a confusing situation while still holding compassion, not overly emotional, but not cold either. So here's what I feel. The jury made their decision, but the judge, well, he's going to make his own. And it doesn't feel like he's fully leaning into the emotional narrative that got us here. It feels like he's asking what actually holds weight, what needs to be acknowledged, and what creates real closure. And this feels like a decision that's not just about him. It's about making sure what happened is fully seen. And if you've been following this case, stay tuned because the sentencing is where everything comes together. And I want to hear from you. Do you think the judge will follow the tone of the jury, or will he shift it? Let's talk about it. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell, and comment, but make sure it's kind. And I follow this other content creator, and he always says something great like, be kind to somebody else. Go make somebody's day, whether it's buying them a coffee or, giving a genuine compliment. So I thank you for being here. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and I will see you in the next one.